It's hard to imagine just how much damage one individual can do to a major corporation. Of course, we're talking about this particular lady, this individual, that recently, of course, spoke out on a public broadcasting service, basically deriding the fact that the former British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, had decided to step down from the leadership race. Now, as we told you previously on the show, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the BBC are supposed to remain impartial, not really show any of their feelings, particularly their presenters. But time and time again, it would appear that the Director General of the BBC, Tim Davie, has lost all control of these people that he pays so very highly. Maxine Croxall has been on the channel for many years now, as I've said before, never really a huge star, never really a name that people would say, oh, I know who she is, but has earned a very good living out of the corporation, which is funded by British taxpayers in part. Is now one of the bigger problems facing the BBC, because in its 100th year, now more than ever, the battle between them and streaming giants and all sorts of things around the world, how people are now watching, digital television, mainstream television, all of that sort of stuff, is a lot harder to keep. And recently we've seen over the last few years that the BBC have even gone as far as prosecuting people who have refused to pay for their licence, which set up with a group called Defund the BBC. Many of these similar groups are around. What's interesting though, as I say, is in the 100th year celebrating what was once a splendid organisation and has given so much love and joy to so many people through incredible programming, seemingly now Maxine alone has made sure that people more than ever now want to stop paying their TV licence. I kid you not. This is mounting. Now, it can't wholly be blamed on her, but situations like that with her make it incredibly difficult for an organisation to be supported. What they realise is that the presenters themselves are now offering their own personal opinions that we don't really care about, because you're there to read the auto cue, to present the news. When you look back at stellar broadcastings like, Dimbleby and the Richard Bakers, you never knew their opinions. You didn't know exactly which way they were leaning politically, or in fact their personal thoughts. They simply presented the news. More importantly now for Maxine, it does look that whichever way she comes out of this debacle, if the BBC do decide to continue to employ her, it's not going to be an easy ride. And more importantly, if they do decide to keep employing her, lots of people seemingly, and as ever we have to say allegedly, could now be pulling back from actually paying their very much needed TV licences. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.